"Take cover!" screamed Gun Captain Hartman. Through the ever-increasing roar from weapons of every caliber, we could see his outstretched arms motioning and his lips moving. His commands remained drowned in the pounding thunder of weaponry. Finally, the moment had come. It was now our time to face the enemy. Despite the gnawing fear within us, we met the inevitable with profound relief, which served to demonstrate how our priorities had shifted since our march had begun. The gun crews automatically and mechanically set to work as they had done in drills countless times before. Gunners 1 and 2 loosened the limbers, locked the wheels. Gunners 3 and 4 spread the limbers wide apart, while the aimer simultaneously adjusted for range by depressing the barrel to a horizontal position. The loader opened the bolt to the breech, and the handlers tossed cases of ammunition from the carriage. With one motion, the first round was snapped into the open breech of the barrel to be smoothly loaded and locked, and the weapon was ready to fire. Hartman kneeled next to the gun with binoculars held to his eyes as he directed the aimer in textbook fashion. Right end of the hedgerow, range 400, machine gun nest, fire. Within seconds, one round after another was leaving the barrel in response to his practice commands. We were able to observe an infantry platoon from the 5th Company as it became pinned in a shallow depression under heavy fire from enemy machine guns. Under cover fire of the pack, our rounds now struck directly within enemy positions, the platoon worked its way forward. Clearly visible were the heavily laden infantrymen, advancing slowly through the wheat fields. Thin wisps of smoke revealed where the dry stalks had been ignited by tracer fire. The collective farm at Klein Kargarlik, which was reportedly occupied by Soviet artillery observers, was taken under fire by the 2nd pack at a range of some 600 meters. The straw-thatched huts of the collective began to burn brightly, with thick black smoke rising into the clear sky. We received the command to shift positions, and we advanced forward to the crossroads on the same bearing as the burning farm huts. Through the bursts of impacting mortar rounds and the pounding of machine gun fire, we were conscious of the cheers erupting from our parched throats as we observed the Russians abandoning their positions. As they attempted to flee from the farm along the dusty road toward the east, our machine gunners increased their fire, and again the rapid-firing MG-34 Spandals sent streams of copper-jacketed rounds into the fleeing clusters of khaki-brown figures. To our right, the first prisoners appeared, with upraised hands and eyes wide with fright. They were quickly stripped of helmets and combat equipment, and they instinctively hurried toward our rear at a trot with hands clasped behind their heads. While changing positions, our tracked vehicle parted a thread. The Chenilette spun in an untimely half-circle and stopped, helplessly stuck in an open field within sight of the enemy. The drivers bailed out of the vehicle and desperately began to attempt repairs as we unhitched the gun and slipped into towing harnesses to pull it forward. The pack designated as number 1 within our company left us behind as it advanced, bouncing along the rough road toward the sound of firing. Sweat soaked through the grey-green uniforms and left trails on faces covered with dust and grime as the Ukrainian summer sun beat upon the dull green helmets. Exhausted, we hung gasping in the towing harness as rifle shots cracked in a now familiar tone and plucked at the crusted dry road surface. Occasionally, tiny mushrooms of dust erupted in erratic lines along the road near us as bullets fired from a heavy machine gun situated on the east edge of Klein Kargarlik impacted near us. With the protective armor shield facing forward, we again lunged against the harness to pull the gun farther, our faces strained with exertion and fear. An occasional ping rang sharply against the armor as a bullet struck it like a hammer, a deadly reminder that we were still under fire from isolated snipers. Hartman ran forward to reconnoiter a suitable gun position, his submachine gun swinging from his neck and the hand grenade clenched in his right fist. He directed us toward the right and into the edge of a wheat field. As we left the road, we noticed a vague checkerboard pattern of fresh earth in the ruts where the Russians had blocked our advance route with their box-shaped mines. Hartmann's reconnaissance had prevented us from straying into them. We paused to catch our breath in the sparse shadow of the steel gun shield. No tree, bush, or building was present to offer even faint relief from the burning midday sun. With heaving lungs, I fell on my hands and knees for a moment. Others collapsed into the furrows on the edge of the road in a vain attempt to find shade. Some merely stretched themselves on Ukrainian earth. I remained vaguely aware of the bullets from the Maxim machine gun again cracking nearby, and the pounding of my heartbeat gradually slowed while I lay in the dirt. The deadly projectiles continued to snap and whine over us. The Russians attempted to zero in on our disabled vehicle, now 100 meters distant from where our efforts had brought the gun. Fountains of earth were thrown skyward, and a thick cloud of grey smoke engulfed the Chenelet as it was surrounded by impacting rounds. Despite the hail of small arms fire snapping through the air about them, the drivers escaped unscathed and were able to repair the track. Leaping into the driver's seat, Clemens slammed the transmission into gear, and with a racing engine the vehicle lurched forward and bounced over the open ground toward us. The other gun, 100 meters to our left, opened fire in an attempt to knock out the Maxim. It then moved forward, the tractor crawling down the left side of the road until it turned sharply into an immense wheat field that stretched to the horizon. The machine gun continued to keep the tractor under fire, the small caliber ammunition having little effect on the steel-plated skin of the vehicle. We greeted the arrival of our driver and the tractor with mixed emotions. We were desperate to shift positions, and the prime mover could now pull the heavy gun. However, we were fully aware that the vehicle would draw additional fire from the enemy positions. The thought of abandoning the gun in order to find shelter from the enemy fire flashed through my mind. But I just as quickly eliminated the unthinkable option and strained harder against the harness. Within a few seconds that seemed to last an eternity, the gun was hitched and under tow by the tractor, the motor screaming in protest as the gun bounced behind us over the uneven ground.